Hello everyone. Now we will see the basic classes. So first we will see passing numbers. So the aim of today's program is to first see how to pass integers, or let's say numbers, from a function, from main function. So let us create one class as number. And I'm just declaring a single private variable. Let us say it as integer n. In the public section, I am writing void getData function. Now I will be passing one value. Let us say I am taking it as y. So this integer y value is local to the getData function. So now I will assign just n equals to y in the getData function. Now in the previous cases we have displayed cout enter data in the getData function, but now we are interested in passing the value from main function. So in this way we can pass the values. So let us write a display function, void display, and I am just checking whether the value passed is correct or not. So I am simply printing the value of n, which is received from y. So now I will write void main CLR SCR first to clear the existing screen. Now next we will create the object, that is, let us say number n1. Now I will call n1.getData. Now here you have to focus that the parameters in getData function is 1, and here also you have to provide one parameter. So I am providing here one parameter, that is integer, right? If you do not provide any parameter in this case, it will give you error, because both the syntaxes here and here, it must match. So here in the round brackets you are providing one variable. So for that you have to pass one integer value from where you are calling it, right? So I am passing the value of 2. Now I will only call n.display. So whatever the content of n1 object is there, it will be shown. So now getCH function. Let's check that whether this program works or not, right? So first of all I will just save the program, that is passing integer, pass int. So let us check now. So you can see that the program is printing n equals to 2, right? So let us check whether if you do not pass anything, what it gives. So I have deleted that. So you can see that here is one error, too few parameters in call to number scope resolution getData. So you can clearly see that in the round brackets it is provided int, means you have to pass one integer from here. So that's why you have to pass some values of integer. So if you pass by mistake float value, let us see what is the output. So you can clearly see that you have passed 3.5, but as it will be received in the integer y, so the 0.5 value will be truncated. Okay, so this 3.5 will be passed over here, and since the y is type of integer, y will be equals to 3. The 0.5 will be truncated, right? And the value of y, which is 3, will be assigned to n, and hence we are getting the same value. Now suppose you want to return a value. So in case of returning the value, we have to change this. So suppose we are returning integer. So in this case, suppose we are returning this n, right? So here it is returning the n value, that is integer. So here I will have to create one more integer variable, let us say z, and I will call this get data function that will be equals to z equals to n dot get data. So the meaning of this is whatever the value the get data function will return, it will get stored in the variable z. Okay, so let us check whether, okay, now since we have not calling this function, I have to see out this the value of z here, which is returned by the function. All right, so let us check this. So you can clearly see that the z is equals to 3, as 3 is passed to y, then m becomes 3, and then the value of 3 is returned, and it is assigned to z, right? And hence you are getting the value of z as 3. So in this way you can do the parameter passing to any of the function. You can pass 2 values, 3 values. So this is the very important thing that we have to remember, that you can only return one value. You can pass multiple values, but you can return only one value. So suppose in the case, I will change that, suppose there are two variables now, integer y and integer x, for example. So since two variables are passed, so it must match with the syntax. So here also I am passing two variables, right? But it cannot return both the variables. So let us say I am writing here n equals to y, and I will take m as one more variable. So m equals to y and n equals to x. Likewise I am writing. So either you can return m or you can return n. You cannot return both, right? So to avoid or to manage this scenario, object passing is required. That is the objective of this C++ object oriented programming. You cannot return two variables. So what we will do, we will add these two variables in an object, right? And then we will return both the variables. So let us see from fresh how to implement this. So the next program that we are going to see is, the aim of the program is demonstration of object passing and returning, right? So this is the demo of that. So I'm just including these two files. I'm just creating a class, let us say hour, or let us say I'm creating the class as time. I am writing two functions, get data, right? So I will just see out, enter hour and minute, just similar to x and y. I am entering this. So I have to create two variables over here. So I am simply integer, let's say hour and minute in the private section of the class. So I'm just getting the values for hour part and minute part. So hour followed by minute. Now I have to add this, suppose. Alright. So I will simply first write, okay, I will not write this function now. Void display cout hour total hour equals hour, and cout total minutes is equals to minute. Alright, so I have displayed it. Now end of class, now void main CLR SCR for clearing the screen. Now I am creating T1 object and T2 object. So I have to add time from this two objects. So first of all, I will get data in this two object, that is T1.getData will get me hour and minute in T1 object. Then similar to T2.getData will get time and hour and minute in T2 object, right? So now I am calling this function, let us say T1.add, and I am passing these two objects now. Instead of passing 4 variables, now I am passing T1 object which contains hour and minute variable, and similarly I am passing T2 object which also contains separate values of hour and minute, right? And finally, to display the addition, I am just calculating T1.display. So addition will be stored in this T1 object since you are calling with that T1 object, right? So finally get ch. Let us save the program, that is object passing. We have not written anything in this program. Let us check. One error is there, extra parameter in call time. Okay, so you can see that here I have used two, that is T1, T2, here is nothing. So that's why it is given error. Since I am passing object, I have to create one more, suppose time M and time N, right? And I will just to store the addition, I will create time total as object. So here in this case, total is the object of time class. So I will simply write total dot hour is equals to m dot hour plus n dot hour. So dot operator basically accesses the content of that particular object. So m dot hour will access the content of m object, which is nothing but the content of T1 object. Similarly, n dot hour will access the content of n object, which is nothing but the content of T2 object. So the addition of these two hours will get stored in total object. So total dot minute is equals to m dot minute plus n dot minute, right? So in this way you can have this. Now the problem is, in this case what will happen, you have to call this display function not here, because addition of this is getting stored in total object and not the T1 object. So either way you can display here, that is the one way, that is writing, instead of writing this, you can directly see out total dot hour and total dot minute over here, or you can call this display function using total object inside this function. So you can call display function from the class also or from the main function as well. So this is the one way. Let us check whether this works or not. So I will be entering hour, suppose 1 hour and 20 minutes for the first object, that is T1. Now enter hour minute, that is T2, suppose 2 hours and let us say 30 minutes. So the addition must display 3 hours and 50 minutes. So you can clearly see total hours is 3 and total minutes is 50. So in this way you can pass the object. Now suppose you want to do this program using returning the object, passing and returning in the same. So what I will do, I will simply change this void to time. That is, since it is returning the object now, its return type will be time, not void. Void means nothing. So it will return total. But since it is returning this object, you have to collect this in some of the objects. So I will just, for collecting it, I will create T3 object. So similar to the previous integer passing case, now whatever the add function will return, so it is returning the total object. So this total object will get stored in T3. Now here you just have to write T3.display. So whatever the content of T3 it will be having, it will display that. Let us check whether it is working or not. So again I am entering 1 space 20, 2 space 10 suppose. So it is showing 3 hours and 30 minutes. So in this way you can implement the object passing and returning the object. I hope you have understood this. If you have any queries, you can type in this box below or comment section, or you can mail me. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.